Taurus. What's going on? Time for your reading, guys. Been a lot of things going on, so haven't really gotten a chance to do the readings, but thank you guys who come back, who check for it. I mean, you know, it's a lot of readers on Instagram, but you know where the real readings are at. So thank you guys for constantly checking back. You know, I take my hiatuses and I come back to give you the best readings that I can. So let's see. I got some cool stuff here, guys. I got some cool stuff yesterday. A friend and myself got some cool stuff. Finally got my pendulum. I had been wanting that for a while, and I'm trying to focus this on the cards, not so much on myself. And this is an apatite stone. So got some really cool stuff yesterday. All right, so anyway, getting back to the point of it. Hey Tauruses, what's going on? I feel like you guys need to cut the shit this month. Just really bring in some messages, some feelings, some things that's been on your mind into the forefront. Keeping it real with yourself, keeping it real with people. That is how I feel about you this month. I'm just trying to really focus this on the cards. That is how I feel about you this month, Taurus. So just cut the bullshit. Just get to the point. You know, make it clear. Be clear about what you're thinking, how you feel, all that kind of stuff. You know, just cutting the shit. Cutting any bullshit that may be in your life. Happy birthday to any Aries that may be watching. If you have an Aries rising or Aries moon. And happy birthday to the April and the May Tauruses that are coming up. I can't believe it's about to be April already. I swear. So let's get right to the point. I'm going to try to make this reading pretty short and to the point. I'm not going to try to talk a whole hell of a lot. I have the Rider-Waite deck, and I may just verify some cards with the playing card deck. As you know, I'm a traditional kind of person, and I have a few decks, but my go-to deck is really the Rider-Waite. And then I really love reading the playing cards. I already have the Rider-Waite shuffled, and I'm just shuffling the playing cards, and then we're going to get into it. And I may not even use the playing cards. We're just going to see what kind of comes out and then goes from there. So anyway, Venus retrograde. A lot of you guys, especially with Venus being your ruling planet, Taurus, a lot of you guys may really be having some thoughts or some things going on as far as your career, love life, and things like that. Some thoughts that might be setting you back a little bit, and maybe that's why I said it's some things you need to get clear, some things you need to get straight and be clear on. So Venus should be coming out of retrograde. If it isn't one day this week coming up, then it's within the first 2 weeks of April. I haven't looked, but it's been in retrograde for a while, so it should be coming out of retrograde. But then we're going to be going into sometime in April, we're going to be going into the Mercury retrograde. So then again, that brings some highlight on communications and things like that. And even if it is thinking to the past or a slowing down in certain communications and certain things pushing forward, I mean, it's all a part of the bigger picture. So just be aware those things are coming up. And then we have a new moon. I believe tomorrow is a new moon, if I'm not mistaken. You know, between today and the next day or two is a new moon. So any new intentions that you have, any new things, like I said, that you just, that's probably why I got that message of being clear and cutting the shit, because a new moon is the opportunity to begin new things, to start new things, just had that new energy to like clear the slate because it's a new moon. So anything that you don't want to take ahead into April, you should go ahead and just kind of resolve it now so that it doesn't play a part in your April or what's going on going forward. So I just want to see what's going on for Taurus. And just let me take a look at the cards really quick. When I go through the readings really fast, just lay it and kind of start talking. It's like I always get messages after the fact, and those videos I should really put on Vimeo or put on another channel, because I always get additional messages when the readings are over. And I hope I have enough time. I'm trying to make this quick because I know I don't have a lot of space on my phone for this video. So, you guys just, I see it's a lot on your mind, just not feeling satisfied with some things that are going on, not really feeling satisfied with the give and take, what's fair, what's not fair, what is back at it, guys. Just, just maybe thinking, I don't know if you're thinking about the past or just thinking about what's going on right now. And this could be in any realm. This could be in career, in family life, love life, whatever it is, Taurus. It's like you just trying to stay balanced, keep a balance with what's going on in your life, with the people in your life, with the give and take, even when it comes to finances. That could be a literal balancing of your checkbook, a balancing of your finances, trying to have everything kind of come out easily, trying to give to people what they expect of you, but then at the same time keep enough for yourself or give to other people. Maybe you have several demands in your life, several things going on where you're feeling like things are kind of tugging at you from different angles. And even though, I mean, I see the Pentacles cards, you got 2 Pentacles cards, you guys may be hard workers or you do work hard, but sometimes you just feel like it's not enough. Maybe what you're doing is not enough, or you're not satisfied. You're not satisfied with what you're getting, whether that be in a job, just your security, the things that you have for yourself. You don't feel a sense of satisfaction. It's like whatever is in front of you, it is not satisfying, regardless of how it looks. Even though, there are opportunities, it is something that's being presented, it's something there, but it's like you just kind of being down, being a little gloomy on the inside, wanting some solitude to yourself. And like I said, even if that's people in your career that's getting on your nerves, family life, love life, and all of that, it's just like you have a lot of things that need to be balanced out. There's a give and a take. There's some things that you're trying to weigh, and it's leaving you feeling pretty unhappy, pretty unsatisfied, or you feel like you can't satisfy everybody, or maybe you feel like what you're doing is just not good enough, or what you're getting just is not good enough, because you're looking back at the past. You're looking at what you worked hard for, what you've been going through. You're looking at what you've accumulated or what you've done in your life so far, and you just saying, why does it feel like I'm at a loss, or someone got over on me, or things may have been good up until a point, but now I'm looking back and saying, I got to deal with these sort of situations again. So maybe what you're dealing with in the present has got you looking back like it's the same shit. Like, I really have to stop and take a look on what I've accumulated so far, because I'm going through the same battles. I'm dealing with the same things, and some things that I thought I defeated and that I was over, I may not really be over. And it's having you have to be strong. It's having you have to still keep a balance. I see a lot of things in the card that really have to do with balance, a physical balance, and as well a mental balance, being balanced in your mind, to not get too off track, to be strong in your thoughts, to push forward and try to hold it all together. I feel like you're really trying to hold it all together emotionally, and you may be putting on a strong front on the outside. I think you're putting on a really strong front on the outside, but really trying to hold it all together emotionally. Because if you look at the situations that are at hand, the center of the issues, the scales of balance are in this card when it comes to the giving, the receiving, the stability, and the people that you have in your life, and the demands that you have in your life, and what's expected of you. And then when you look at the Chariot card is all about balance. It is, if one thing goes wrong, the whole shit falls apart. If you aren't there to kind of keep it together, or if you express how you really feel or the things you really want, then everything could possibly go awry. It's like if one thing goes wrong, or having that pressure to feel like if one thing goes wrong, everything is going to kind of fall apart. And he is keeping, the chariot does push on, the chariot does go on to that next phase. He is leaving what may seem secure, or he is leaving the stability of what's behind him to push on with a new mission. He has to go on to conquer new things, to conquer new victories, to bring new messages, to bring his enlightenment, to go on his mission. And there's a lot. He has to be strong. Like you see, he wears this suit of armor, and he's carried on like this chariot sort of device with the wheels on the side. The wheels keep on turning, and the mysteries of like what you know and what you don't know, what you thought was one thing but what really turns out to be another, is all a part. He knows all of these things, and those feelings are all there, but yet he must still press on and go forward, even though you may be trapped in your head and you may feel like you missed a victory in the past, or you really had to go with inside, and maybe you're coming to a place where you're really trying to understand and you're trying to figure out what's going to make you happy, what truly is going to make you happy. You had to go within, you had to go within yourself and go on your own sort of journey within, so you can find out what is truly gonna make you happy, what is truly gonna make you happy and bring you success. What is truly going to bring you success? Maybe having to listen to a higher power, maybe having to find yourself spiritually, having to ground yourself and realize you got to close certain cycles, certain information, certain thoughts, certain foresights have come. Like I think I said that even coming into the reading, certain things coming to the surface, making certain discoveries that you may not have realized before, certain things coming into the picture, certain things coming into your mind that may not have been clear, but you really had to take a pause and you really had to think about certain things, and you really had to figure out the wisdom of certain situations, so that you can get to where you really, really need to be mentally and physically. So it could really speak to really looking at what you've done and what you have up until this point. You feel like there may have been some sort of defeat, or you may have thought things were one way and then it turns out that things really were another way. And it has you kind of looking to the past to figure out, why do I feel at a loss? Why do I still feel I thought I was getting rid of certain things? I thought I was going a certain way. I still feel like something's tugging at me from every level, and I want to let go of certain chains, certain binds, so that you can feel free. And you're really having to be strong and press on with some of those things. So maybe just it could even be taking certain advice from elders. Maybe you're seeking certain advice, certain counsel from elders about certain addictive or patterns of behavior, patterns of ways of being that you see have gotten you the same results, or maybe you're putting on a strong front, but those feelings are still there. Those certain patterns that maybe you thought you were through with, and you patterns or people that you thought you were through with, when you really go inside and you take a really, really deep look, you figure out they're still there. So it's like dealing with certain issues, really trying to balance things out that you kind of thought you had taken care of. And what it brings you to is really, really working through these issues, is really realizing the things you're bonded to. There's a entity, and even if this is a career, if it's love relationships, there's something that is unsatisfying. There's something that is unharmonious. There's something in the middle of whatever unions and partnerships that you have, and maybe that's what's got you going back to the past and really, really going inside and thinking, on where it is that you come from, the things that had gone on, and ways that you may have been successful, and things you may have had that you really, really have to think about, so that you can figure out how to get happy, come out of a certain situation that was, it held some sort of karmic tie, some sort of karmic bond that you put yourself in. And this is what you're going to be dealing with, really trying to figure out how to break those chains, how to break those karmic bonds, how to make a wrong right so that you can totally be happy in the inside and out. Because the Ten of Hearts represents true soul happiness. It represents true passion. It represents having, like, really having all those things that you want without the mental stress and without, the physical stress. No, there's always going to be stresses in life. Life is never, ever, ever, ever perfect. But you have to break certain ties, certain bonds with certain people, with certain jobs, with certain situations that you know aren't right, to bring you that happiness. So with the Devil in reverse, and then the Ten of Hearts, which represents in a traditional tarot deck, it would be the Ten of Cups. But with the Devil in reverse, it's like breaking certain patterns, breaking certain bonds if you want to be happy, if you want to really discover what true happiness is. Because maybe the true happiness is not what you thought it was. Maybe it isn't what you thought it was. This is this, like I said, with the Seven of Pentacles and the Five of Spades, which is the Five of Swords. It was a false victory. Maybe really thinking you wanted to go one way, or you wanted to do one thing, but now you got to really stop and look and say, what have I done? What have I done up to this point? And truly, I don't even feel stable and completely satisfied. But I must work. I must go on to fight another day. The battle still continues, especially with the Five of Spades card. When you think of the Five of Swords tarot cards, the person did win the battle, and the two others are walking away. But he's going to have to deal with that situation again. He's going to have to deal with those people maybe coming back to get him. And like, that's why I said it's certain issues that you got to face from the past and get over them to find. This is the Six of Wands and the Hermit. So just finding the path to open you up to where you need to be and where you need to go, and the victory that you need to have to be happy in the future, is analyzing the past and clearing up the things that you did wrong, clearing your karmic slate. And that's really, really what that talks about in the past position. And like I said, if you had to seek counsel, maybe an older person, a person that's wise, if you have to do that in order to figure out which way you need to go, then do that. Because I'm feeling like right now with this Six of Pentacles, which is a card that represents you, the Pentacle cards represent the Taurus, the Capricorn, and the Virgo. But there's something with all that you have, and how wonderful things may look or may be to you. You just don't see it, because you see what has been lost instead of what could be gained. You really looking at and still in a emotional place of loss. And that's what it really speaks to. That's what the spread speaks to. It speaks to really, because that's the issue. That's what's crossing the stability and the fairness and the give and take and all of that, is you're in the feelings of lack and loss and just really feeling down and sort of a depression inside. And that's really what the cards speak to. And it's really having to go within and figure out where the heck you want to go and what you want to do, which is really symbolized by the sevens. The Chariot is the number 7 card, and this is a Pentacle 7 card, which really tells me that. And you got the 4, the 6, the 7, the 9. And, so you're going, it's like a back and forth. It's like a back and forth, trying to be stable, but not really feeling emotionally or physically stable when it comes to material things in the world. Working hard, putting in the work, having it's not to say you don't have money or you don't have stability, because you do, but just not really seeing it being worth what you think it should be worth, or what you think it should be after all this time that you spent on certain things. And just remember, you with that 5 of Swords and that 7 of Pentacles, it just feels like things not being what they seem to be, or having to go back and deal with some of the same battles and some of the same fights. And what you have to do is really face your own inner demons if you want to be happy. And it's just no better way to interpret that Devil card in reverse in the 10 of Hearts. But I feel like you will do that. I feel like with the Devil in reverse, it's a coming out of, it really is figuring out, because you went into the Hermit and said you've been thinking, you've been going within, and now you're trying to come out of that thing because you realize that you want to be happy. And that's what's really going on. But you do have to go back and revisit some of the issues that were going on, because until we solve whatever is going on with us the issues we have with people in our lives, other people, family and people that are important or we care about and things like that, until we solve that, what goes around comes around. And you can never, it's like you have to work out the things that go on in your life before you just move on to the next chapter. That's like when people tell me, like, I've had friends who said, oh, well, I'm not doing so good here, nothing's working out. And I know with the planetary alignments that's been going on, things have been hard for a lot of the signs, a lot of people, whether it be emotionally or materially, as far as it comes to the jobs, making the money, going through jobs and things like that. And I've had people say, oh, well, I'm going to move, or I'm going to go to a different state and maybe things will be better. As somebody who said I can stay with them until I get on my feet. And I'm just like, if you've been through changes, you got to look and see what part you play in the changes you're going through. But you can't just up and move and think things are going to get totally better, because what you're going to find is you're going to be faced with the same issues. You can go to another state, but you take yourself with you. So whatever happened here that you aren't able to work out, and I'm saying it's not situations like where something drastic happened, a tornado or something, and you're like, oh dang, I'm displaced, so I got to pick up and move. I mean, I'm not talking about those kind of situations. I'm talking about situations where the same recurring things, the same recurring events happen over and over, and then you're like, damn, this keeps happening to me here, I'm just gonna pick up and go somewhere else. You could do that, but if you do that, you're gonna run into the same things that you were already dealing with, because you can't run away from your problems when you take yourself with you. I mean, are you going to jump into a different body and completely be a whole new different person? No, you're the same person with the same soul and the same spirit. And when we keep fucking up, making mistakes, or going through, and it's not even about fucking up, because sometimes, not sometimes, but we are here to learn a lesson. We pick the struggles and we pick the things that we come into this planet to deal with. And then we all bring past life karma, different things that we have to straighten out, different things that we have to do. So you can't run from that unless you can reincarnate and jump in, or you can not even reincarnate, but you can just right now jump into another physical body, another physical spirit, and wipe the slate all over again. Then you're gonna deal with the same things that you've been dealing with. It's not gonna go away. It's not gonna be any different. So that's just what this spread is really saying. Like, you may feel like you unhappy. It's a change. It's stability there. It's certain things going on. It's a give and take. You trying to figure out certain decisions you should make and what you should do. And you really deeply inside yourself thinking about, how can you be happy? What's going to make you happy? Kind of finding that source and patterns and things you need to do. It may be a certain action. It may be a certain thing you have to do. It may be a switching of a job, a clearing. Like I said, I feel like you really got just things in your life that you got to clear up. You got to express yourself to people, push forward. The wheels keep on turning, and just just speak your truth and let it be known what's really going on, and break certain ties and bonds so that you can truly be happy. So I'm going to leave it there and let you figure out the rest and how that applies to you, Taurus. And then I'm going to do one romance angel card, and then we're going to end it from there. So the romance angel card for this month, just to give you some guidance on the relationship, it says chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. So a lot of this may have to do with the chemistry. Maybe you have chemistry for someone. Maybe you have certain feelings. This is a general reading, but I do like to throw in. So this wasn't all focused on love, but I do like to throw in, it's a little bit of both. I mean, whatever it spoke to for you. It's a life reading. So chemistry, you may have chemistry with someone, or you may feel like it's not enough chemistry, or what's going on really has you like, okay, who are you drawn to and what are you drawn to? Because I got to read this card in relation to the rest of the cards that were on the table. I don't have a lot of super, all the cards are good and bad. I mean, there's no just totally good or totally bad cards, but it's not like this went into an all roses tarot reading. It's really deciding on what's going on. If there is chemistry there and you're trying to figure out how to work out the other things, then the issue really is with you, and you got to figure out what it is that you want to do and what's there. Or is there some sort of chemistry somewhere else in your life? You know what I mean? This could be with one person, with multiple people, or it could mean the chemistry is just not there, and you're trying to say, well, you know, I don't want to keep going down this road if this is how you feel, and you feel like there's an issue with the chemistry, or maybe you can work on the chemistry. And if the chemistry is there, then you're trying to figure out how to fix issues in your life, how to find a balance, how to maybe fix this and go on, fix some other areas in your life so you can continue on with what makes you happy, and with relationships and places, things in your life that you truly want to be involved in, because it really speaks to the chemistry being right. Sometimes the chemistry is just not right. Sometimes you do have really, really good chemistry with people, but then other things in that relationship, or other things that have to do with a common bond, could be off. So chemistry is not the determining factor of if things are going to work or not. It's chemistry along with all this other stuff balancing out. And a lot of what's on the table is really about balance and weighing options and weighing actions, and what needs to be done and what needs to be done away with, what needs to be taken care of, so that you can push forward and be happy and break any negative relationships or negative bonds, negative something really, really deep-seated and deep-rooted when it comes to your relationships with other people, that because you truly do want to be happy, but you see there's some things that really do stand in the way of having that happiness, of having that complete chemistry and things like that. So that's what it is, Taurus. Again, like I said, happy birthday to all of the April Tauruses and the May Tauruses, and what up to the Aries. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful